I'm Jason Little, and this is 10 minutes off the top of my head. I hope that you're still with me. I hope that you haven't unsubscribed from my channel and unfriended me on Facebook and blew up my Twitter and all that other stuff that people do when they get mad at other folks because of things that they've said. In the last video, we talked about cognitive dissonance, and I told you that the American soldier did not fight for our rights in Vietnam. They did not fight for our rights in Bosnia. They did not fight for our rights in Somalia. They did not fight for our rights in Iraq either time. They did not fight for our rights in Afghanistan, and they're not fighting for our rights right now. I want to get more into that and give you the cure for cognitive dissonance. But first, I want to go over the ground rules that we need to agree upon in order to see the great blessing that is coming. And number one, that is, Jesus is Lord and Jesus is coming again. Number two, that Satan is a liar and the father of lies. Number three, that we all suffer from cognitive dissonance. And let me add that there's a cure to cognitive dissonance. We'll get into that in this video. Number four, they are out there, and they are the Illuminati. The Illuminati is not a noun, but it is an adjective to describe those who are illuminated with secret knowledge. Number five, they are of their father, the devil. Number six, the science is never settled. And number seven, the quote from Nikola Tesla, today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. Cognitive dissonance has a cure. That cure is critical thinking. Now, I want to expand on what we started last time, and I want to preface that by saying this. I love the American soldier. I have friends who are American soldiers. I have friends who are in the Marines or were in the Marines. I have friends who were in the Navy or are in the Navy. I have friends who were in the Air Force or are in the Air Force right now, and I love them, and I pray for them, and I thank them for their service to our country. But there is a difference between thanking them for their service to our country, which we should all do and be careful to do, and thanking them for protecting our rights. The American soldier today does not protect our rights. They are not responsible for our rights. They do not give us our rights, and they can only do one thing with our rights, and that is take them away. Now think about this. Our rights are given to us by God. The Declaration of Independence tells us this, that our rights are given to us, that we're endowed by our Creator God with certain unalienable rights, rights that cannot be taken away, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Constitution of the United States of America names those rights in the first 10 amendments, which are called the Bill of Rights. In that Bill of Rights, we are given the right of religion, the right to freely practice our religion, the right to the freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the right to keep and bear arms. Those are the first two amendments. We're also given the right against to not be illegally searched and have our personal property seized. We have the right not to incriminate ourselves, among other rights that we do have. The right to privacy in the Fourth Amendment. And right now, the Third Amendment is slipping my mind, but it doesn't really matter because our rights are being eroded every day. And we're seeing our rights taken away by things like, the Patriot Act. And we need to understand and we need to realize that we have rights, and our rights are given to us by God. They're guaranteed by our government, but we're the only ones that can protect our rights. We're the only ones that can fight for our rights. And you, my friend, and I are the only ones that can really die for our rights. But are those rights worth dying for? That's a whole other video, but I digress. All right, so I keep saying that. Y'all got to check out Richie from Boston. If you haven't checked him out yet, I keep saying that. He's a cool guy. I like his videos. Don't always agree with everything that he says, but he is that dude is just he is entertaining to listen to. If nothing else, he's a good guy. I'd love to meet him. Hey Richie, if you're out there, if you ever see one of my videos where I talk about you, dude, let's get together. Okay, but I digress. Anyway, all right, so let's talk about this. Cognitive dissonance. If you heard what I said and you're a strong American patriot, you bleed red, white, and blue, you want to reach through the computer screen right now and punch me right in my smug mouth. And I understand that. I really do. because you have misplaced loyalty. You see, we're ambassadors for Christ. We're put on this earth to represent the kingdom of heaven. And we're not put on this earth to bleed red, white, and blue, and to be gung-ho American citizens full of patriotism and pride for our country. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but there is something wrong with that when you confuse mom and apple pie with the government of the United States. I have no pride, no good feelings toward the government of the United States. I'm sorry, I don't. The government has brought us a lot of pain. The government has brought us a lot of discomfort. The government has tried as hard as they can to take away our rights without inciting a revolt. And we're letting them. We're very susceptible to it because we suffer from cognitive dissonance. Our government has lied to us over and over and over again, so much so that we willingly open our ears as wide as we can and accept everything that they say as gospel truth. And it just isn't. It just isn't. Look at our last administration and the environmental changes that they crammed down our throats for 8 years. Well, if you've been paying attention at all in the news, the Paris Accords have been a big deal because Trump is pulling us out of the Paris Accords. And what a horrible thing it is, and we're going to cause the destruction of the planet Earth. Well, think about this, friends. This is what the science behind the Paris Accords says. That if the United States stops today every bit of the CO2 output that our country has right now, this moment, no more cars, no more planes, no more trains, no more industry, no more anything, no more burning coal, no more electricity. If we completely de-industrialize, if that's a word, and we return to, if we just quit everything that has anything to do with technology or fossil fuels or anything. We just stop it all right now. That we will affect a change in the temperature worldwide of 0.02. That's 2/10 of 1 degree Celsius. Yeah, Celsius. Which, if you know anything about the centigrade scale, that is not very much temperature at all. I mean, my hot air coming out of my mouth raised the temperature in this house by that much today by me doing these videos, okay? That's just all there is to it, but I digress. All right, so listen. Flattery is the sincerest form, or imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There you go. So listen, folks, the thing is, and I don't want to get into a big discussion about American patriotism because I really don't care. I love the people of this country. I love the values that this country stood for in the past. I love life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I believe in freedom and liberty for all. And I believe that liberty does indeed come at a price, but that price is not your mind. And you need to get your mind right. And cognitive dissonance is real. Let me show you another example, and I'm going to do this from the Bible. So the Bible tells us that God had a purpose for man. And what was that purpose that God had? Some of you are raising your hands. No, just kidding. You're not really raising your hands. Maybe you are. I don't know. But the Bible says that God created that, let me see. Let me find it here. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree, yields the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for me. Okay, so God gave us a job. And what was that job? To replenish the earth, and that does not mean plenish again, by the way. That means to fill the earth. That word replenish is kind of messes us up here in 21st century America because we think it's to do something over again. It's not. It's to plenish. To replenish means to fill the earth. It says, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. That was our job. Okay? Now we blew it. Now, think about this for just a moment. Now, I want you to think about this. This is going to hurt you to think about. Some of you, did God give us dominion over outer space? If God didn't give us dominion over outer space, why are we trying so hard to go there? Why are we spending $18 billion a year from the federal government, from your wallet and my wallet, to send to NASA so that we can rocket people into outer space? God gave us dominion over this earth, not over the heavenlies. Think about it. I'm serious. You're like, right? What are you, crazy? Are you nuts? Of course we need the space program. We've got to have the space program, because if we don't have the space program, we don't have... Yes, I'm listening. What don't we have if we don't have the space program? Tang? If we don't have the space program, we don't have Tang! Think about it. If we don't have the space program, we don't have memory foam mattresses, man! Think about it. Why do we need the space program? I've got more power in my laptop than the computing power that they used to launch any rocket at any time into the sky. I've got more computing power in my cell phone than they ever used to launch any rocket into the sky. But yet NASA themselves tell us, Don Pettit, look it up. Don Pettit, chemical engineer and astronaut, who not only went up on the space shuttle, but has been to the space station, I believe, twice. Don Pettit said that we've lost the ability to go to the moon. The technology to go to the moon no longer exists. We've lost it, and it's too painful, and that's the word he used, painful, to reassemble that technology. We've lost the technology to go to the moon, and it's too painful to reassemble the technology. Wow. Really? There's 14,000 telemetry tapes from the moonshots that have vanished into thin air. Why do we need to go to space? Name me one good reason why we need to go to space. I challenge you. And I challenge you this, that you cannot name me one good reason. Tang and memory foam mattresses and pens that can write upside down are not good reasons to go to space. Not good reasons to spend $18 billion. And by the way, while you're at it, look up some pictures of the Earth from space. And tell me if you notice anything strange about them. From 1972 until 2015, NASA has published several pictures of the Earth. The blue marble, for instance. Look at those. Look at those different pictures that they've published from Earth. And tell me if you notice anything strange. You may not. But there are very strange things about those pictures from outer space. I'll give you a hint. Look at the size of the continents in each picture. It's very odd. Did we spend $18 billion with a B? $18 billion a year to send NASA to space to take pictures of the Earth, give us Tang, give us pens that can write upside down, and give us memory foam mattresses? Is that why we've gone to space? Folks, it doesn't make any sense. The Bible, God himself, did not give us dominion over space. He gave us dominion over this earth. I can feel your cognitive dissonance. It's coursing through you. I can feel your rage and your hatred. Take your lightsaber and strike me down and complete your journey to the dark side of the Force. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't, give me a thumbs down. God bless. See you in the next video.